Good afternoon, everybody. It is meteorologist Adrian weather forecast, and welcome back to another update on Winter Storm Wesley. This storm is actually getting places right now, such as Rapid City, Denver, parts of Cheyenne. It's hitting part of the plains right now as we speak. So I need to start getting on this, guys, for you guys to have the latest updates as it gets closer and closer to parts of the plains in the Midwest. So let's go to the next 6 hours, guys. So this is the next 6 hours. Very put together. So as we get in the next 6 hours, as it's gonna be going. This is gonna be around midnight. So it's gonna bring very heavy snow as the night comes. So it's gonna be very good because people won't be on the road unless you're getting home late. But either way, please do not drive in this if you will be up at this time. Very heavy snow for parts of southwest Minnesota, and then parts of eastern South Dakota, and then some very heavy snow for parts of central Wyoming, and then getting some snow in there for parts of Utah and Colorado, and then a good amount of snow for parts of northern Wyoming. But this is the area where it's going to get very heavy snow in the next 6 hours for the parts of southwest Minnesota. So let's go the next 18 hours, guys. This is stretching all the way from parts of Michigan to parts of even like Utah, and then parts of even northern New Mexico. The next 12 hours, very heavy snow, especially for northwest Kansas and southern to northern Nebraska and southern South Dakota. Some very heavy snow in there, and then some very heavy snow for parts of actually central Wisconsin. Some very heavy snow there. And then moderate snow for parts of Minnesota and parts of central South Dakota. And then a light to moderate snow for parts of Wyoming and Colorado. The area we need to watch out here is this line in between the rain and the snow is the freezing rain. Something we really need to watch out for, as the ice will be parts of the roads, the houses, power lines, trees. And you don't want a power outage, especially when there's going to be blizzard conditions, so you won't have power and it's going to get very cold in your house. So just please be careful as you're driving. If trees fall down, just be very cautious. Next 30 hours, the heaviest snow is going to start arriving to parts of central South Dakota, southern or southwestern Minnesota, and then parts of central Nebraska. So this is going to be where we can have actually 3+ inches an hour, especially near the central South Dakota, right here in the next 30 hours, where they can experience up to 3 inches in an hour. So with that wind, it's going to actually be blizzard conditions. So it's going to be very, very bad and very cold and windy. So just please be prepared for this storm. It's gonna be very, very it's gonna be very white when you wake up, as there's going to be a lot of white when you wake up, such as covering the roads, your grass, bushes. You're just going to wake up with a white day. Compared to today, it was different. So it's coming very fast. You need to get prepared, especially if you live in central South Dakota and southwestern Minnesota. The next 42 hours from now, it brings some snow for parts of North Dakota to parts of northwestern Iowa. And then the heaviest snow will be on the Minnesota, South Dakota border, and then maybe some moderate snow for parts of North Dakota. Freezing rain for parts of northern Wisconsin, something we really need to watch out for too. And then some heavy snow for parts of northern Minnesota. But again, the storm's going to be moving very fast, so it's better to be safe. So you have your flashlights, have batteries, have candles, have your phones charged. Maybe if you have a generator, that would be great. Some snow for parts of northern Wisconsin, most of Minnesota, South Dakota, and North Dakota, and then it moves off. So let's look at how much snow we can look out in the European model. This is popped up, so you can see all the United States. For those areas who are in the Northwest want to know how much snow, or part of Utah want to know, you can see it without me being on the Midwest. So about a good amount of snow for parts of Colorado, up to 7 inches to 8 inches in central areas. And then we have another foot of in Idaho. They've already had about a foot of snow already, so they're going to get additional foot to get around 2 feet from the snow. Winter storm, But this is going to be a very dangerous storm, guys. Something you really need to watch out for. So it is just very dangerous. Winter Storm Wesley is going to go in the record books for how late this snow is coming and how big it is. Usually when you see April snow to nor'easter, a nor'easter are not that bad. And then you can see this is the general area we're going to have most of that heaviest snow and that 3 inches per hour and adding up to 3 feet by the end of the storm. So this is the European model, 96 hours. This is Sunday. The storm's over by now. You can see the maximum is 27.1 inches. This is the areas I can get to that max in the 27 inches. You can see 25 for parts of the southwest Minnesota, 15 inches for central South Dakota, 14 inches of northern Nebraska, and 10 to 12 inches for parts of southern Nebraska and northwest Kansas. Not as much snow for the eastern part of Wyoming, only 4, as it showed a couple feet of snow there yesterday. 10 inches for parts of the western part of South Dakota. 9 inches for parts of Madison, Wisconsin. It went up a lot compared to yesterday's. And then 11 inches up to a foot for Minnesota and Wisconsin border. Minneapolis can get to 13 inches, but a lot of snow in this area. So something you really need to watch out for, guys. Let's get to the GFS model. This is 90 hours from now, so this is Sunday. A maximum 30 inches, quite a bit more than the European, and a lot more snow for Wisconsin. You can just see that right off the bat. A lot more snow compared to the European. You can have about a foot for most of central Wisconsin, and then 7 inches to a foot of snow for part of the northern part. You can have 6 to 7 inches for Minneapolis, and then you can see where that 30 inches right here for parts of southwest Minnesota, and then for parts of South Dakota, very close to each other, but in the middle of that, it's only going to be 15 inches. But then you're going to have those in the 30s right here. You can have about a foot for central Nebraska, about another foot for parts of central Colorado, about a foot for southeast North Dakota, unless you're in the northern, a bit more up, where you can get up to 8 inches to 5 inches. A lot of snow for this general circle, up to 20 inches to 24 inches right here. Something you really need to watch out for because it's coming very fast. Blizzard conditions, travel could be honestly impossible. Not really. It's not just gonna be dangerous. It's gonna be just impossible to drive in these blizzard conditions with the wind too. So this is the FE3 GFS, maximum 42.5 inches. A lot more snow, and you can see that snow is gonna be right here for parts of the southwest Minnesota and the border of South Dakota, and then another one for parts of South Dakota. As you can see, it only says 32 inches. That's because it's zoomed out. If you zoom in right here, you see that 42 inches there. A lot more snow for parts of central to northern Wisconsin, where so it's 24 inches right here. That's a lot more snow compared to the last couple models of the European GFS, off by a couple, almost 15 inches. This is up by a couple inches, almost 15. Hold on, guys. Let me get that out for a second. Stuff always pops up. Let me get that out of the way. Okay, sorry, guys, for that interruption. I'm not sure why that popped up. It's been doing it for the past couple of days. But a lot of snow for parts of Minneapolis, up to 15 inches of snow. General right here, we can have that 30 inches, even 42 inches right here. So more than 3 feet. So this right here you need to watch out for, guys. Let's get into the next model. So this is the NWS, NDFD. So this goes to, this is the Saturday, guys. I know it says 72, but it's Saturday. Maximum's 28.3 inches. Again, this model is actually showing the most of the snow is going to be on the border of South Dakota instead of being over here. There's still going to be a lot of snow over here, but the most is going to be right here, actually, where that 28 inches is going to be. You can see 21 inches just off more into South Dakota. 18 inches for parts of northern Nebraska. A lot more snow. About a foot for parts of the western part. About a foot for parts of western South Dakota too. 7 inches to a foot for parts of the border of Minnesota and Wisconsin. About 10 inches from Minneapolis, actually. But again, this is a general area. We're going to get that all that snow coming in from the dangerous area. So if you live in parts of central to western Minnesota, all the way through northern Nebraska. So if you're right here in the circle, right here, you're going to get a lot of snow. I'm not going to circle the southeast North Dakota because they're having, all the models are showing a different amount of snow. So it's not really certain, as of all the other models are showing this is the bullseye. So that's why I'm circling this. This is the EPS model, 96 hours, a lot of, up to 18 inches for central Wisconsin, about 8 to 9 inches for parts of northern Minnesota. Again, the bullseye right here through central to west, or central Minnesota to northern Nebraska. It's going to be 23 inches of the maximum, which will be right here in this circle right here. That's where you're going to see the maximum in these two little circles inside this big one. Most of Nebraska is going to get more than 7 inches unless you're on this in these areas right on the borders of other states. But again, the general, if you live in central Minnesota through northern Nebraska, you really need to watch out, as you're going to get hit in the bullseye of the storm. And also another threat is the flooding for these areas after the storm, because it's going to, after the snow melts, there's going to be a lot of water all over the place. So that's also the threats we've always had in the plains after a lot of snow. Here's the NAM. It goes all the way to Saturday too. So, and then it's actually showing the heaviest snow. So it says 36 inches maximum. And this whitish, light greenish color, that's actually where that's going to be. But it's actually not over here like the other malls. This can have about 29 inches. But these areas are getting around the 32 to 33 inches, near that 36. A lot of snow, again, as you can see, for the western part to northern Nebraska, and then maybe a bit more snow near the Lincoln area. Not exactly at Lincoln, but near Lincoln, which is the capital. A bit less snow for parts of Minneapolis, maybe only 7 inches to 8 inches. But in this circle, you can have the heaviest snow, especially if you're in the border right here. According to the NAM, you can have about just less than 3 feet, but you might be able to reach 3 feet. So speaking of all that rain possible in the next 10 days, this is how much rain is going to come down, not including the rain that's going to be melted. But as you can see, the areas are getting the bullseye right here for parts of central Minnesota to parts of eastern South Dakota. Those areas are getting about 2 to 3 inches of rain. The most rain will be near Minneapolis, where they can get that 3 inches. So not only are they going to get feet of snow, they're going to get a couple inches of rain with this. So this is something to watch out for too. But not going to be like flooding as we're talking rain coming down. But the rain that's melting would be the biggest threat for the flooding, and it's not going to be like the right here in the southeast. So yeah, that's what we're talking about, the preset. Just want to show you guys if those areas are getting just the rain, or if you're wondering about the flooding. The only thing about that, it's not showing, it's not going to include the flooding of rain melting. It's just showing the rain that's falling down. So this is Tropical Tidbits GFS model showing this is the next 6 hours. So a comparison quite similar to the European model on weather models. Heaviest snow in the next 6 hours actually showing for parts of southwest Minnesota, and then for parts of western western Colorado, and then a good amount for southwestern Wyoming. But in the parts of Montana, getting a bit more snow. You see that it's kind of done with Idaho, but not completely. As you see, they're going to get another foot additionally. But let's move on. So this is Thursday, where it's going to get very heavy for parts of Nebraska and South Dakota and northwestern Kansas. So you can see this is where the heaviest snow will be. And the reason why, because that low is going to be right there. So it's going to bring that heaviest snow there. And especially for central Nebraska. And then the heaviest will actually be for central Nebraska, according to here. It's the darkest blue. And then the rest are for parts of northwest and southwest Nebraska and Kansas, will have the moderate snow, and then it's getting to parts of South Dakota through all the way to parts of Michigan, getting through Green Bay, and then getting some moderate snow for Detroit. A good amount of snow for parts of southern Colorado, and then Denver can get some light snow to moderate at most, and then get some parts of just south of St. Paul, I believe. St. Paul, I believe, right over there, but not great with Minnesota. So let's get on to Thursday evening. Again, the low's very close to that snow there. So you can see very heavy now. I mean heavy, very heavy. This is where we can have the 3+ inches per hour right here. Just right here for parts of eastern South Dakota and northeastern Nebraska. Right here in the next couple hours and Thursday evening, where they have that 3+ inches per hour. Very heavy. And then leaving some moderate snow for the areas around it, such as central South Dakota and central Nebraska. Again, that's why they're getting about a foot of snow. They're going to get that moderate when that heaviest will be on the northeast part of Kansas, and then we have that freezing rain threat. As we know, it's very dangerous already. And then getting some snow for parts of north of Green Bay. Green Bay can get some freezing rain at this time on Thursday. Sorry guys, didn't realize I wasn't done with this. Sorry. So let's go to, this is actually Friday. A moderate snow for parts of northern to central Minnesota, bringing some snow on the border of Wisconsin and Minnesota, and then bring light snow to moderate snow for parts of the Dakotas and Nebraska. Then after that, it leaves, stays for parts of Minnesota a couple more hours. It's a Saturday, and then it leaves into Canada by Sunday. So here are the snow accumulations on the GFS. You can see 24 to 23 inches for part of the eastern part of South Dakota, and then 24 to actually 26 inches for southwest. So again, this is the general area that's getting the most amount of snow. Showing a bit less snow for parts of central Nebraska, only about 13 inches and less, instead of 19 or something like that. A lot of snow for parts of Wisconsin, stretching from all the way to Madison to areas in the northern part near the national parks. About a foot, a couple miles northwest of Green Bay, they can get about a foot. About 10 inches for parts of east or western Michigan, and then 23 inches for parts of central Minnesota, 7 inches for parts of the Minneapolis. But this is the area that's getting involved snow. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it wasn't too long. I'm trying to show you guys all the models before the storm, as it is coming down right now for parts of the Northwest, and then getting to parts of the plains such as South Dakota, and then getting to some parts of Wyoming and Colorado. So hope you guys like this video. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Hopefully we guys can get to 700 in a couple days. And yeah, bye guys.